Hello everyone. In this tutorial, created with the 2019 version of Substance Painter, I will show you how I used a generator to add light patches to the texture of a material. As an example, I'm using the 3D model of a cigar, starting with no material for the external surface. First of all, I add a cardboard material by dragging it from the Shelf Materials tab to the top of the Layers tab. Since I want to use more materials for this surface, I don't create a mask for the material, but I create a group starting from the material by right-clicking on cardboard and choosing Group Layers. Then, I create the mask for the material with a right-click on the new group and add black mask. To assign the group to the surface of the object, I select the mask, switch to Polygon Fill mode, then select UV Chunk Fill in the Properties tab with pure white color, then click on the external surface of the object. I change the size of the texture on the surface. I select the cardboard material and, in the Properties Fill tab, I set the value of scale to 2 and I change the color to RGB 0.3, 0.18, 0.09. To add clearer colored patches, I proceed as follows. I duplicate the material just created by selecting it and pressing the sequence Ctrl+C and Ctrl+V, a simple copy-paste, which will place the copy on top of the original cardboard material, all within the group. I change the color of this material to RGB 0.4, 0.24, 0.12, to make it clearer. The time has come to create the mask to apply the material in patches, using a generator, that is Substance Painter tool that, well, generates data, indeed, starting from some characteristics of the geometry of the object. First, I create a black mask for the upper cardboard material. To add a generator to the mask, I select the mask, not the cardboard material, in Layers, then I right-click and choose Add Generator from the menu that will appear. I set dripping rust in the Properties tab of the generator, but be careful here. As you can see, the generator uses some image inputs, like curvature, ambient occlusion, position, which are not available right now, so the result is not interesting. To quickly generate these maps, I proceed as follows. In the Texture Set Settings tab, I click on the Bake Mesh Maps button, then I click on Bake, Material Name, Mesh Maps in the tab that will appear, leaving the default settings. They are okay for this project. As you can see, Substance Painter has created some maps, among which we have those requested by the generator, which will automatically recognize them. The result is much more interesting than the previous one, because the mask generated by dripping rust, visible in the preview in Layers, is based on the geometry of the object. Well, in theory the tutorial is over, but before closing I also show you how I added some reliefs to the height map of the object. In the Materials tab, I search for Paper Diagonal Displacement, and drag it into the group of materials, positioning it at the bottom of the group. I change the scale value to 3, after which I deactivate all the channels except height, because I am interested in the ridges only. To set the intensity of the effect, I act on the height range of the material, in the Basic Parameters section of the Properties Fill tab. The effect becomes evident by adequately orienting the lighting of the scene, which I change by pressing Shift and right-click. Well, that's all for this tutorial. As usual, I invite you to express doubts, questions or requests for clarification in the comments to the video.